Welcome all of you on Comfy Learning channel. Today we are going to learn Walk a Little Slower. Walk a Little Slower is a poem. This poem is monologue type poem. You know, dialogue or monologue. Dialogue is a conversation between two or more. Monologue. In this poem, child is speaking to his father. Walk a little slower. First of all, I will read this poem. Pay close attention. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps and I don't want to fall. Sometimes your steps are very fast. Sometimes they are hard to see. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for you are leading me. Someday, when I am all grown up, you are what I want to be, then I will have a little child who will want to follow me, and I would want to lead just right and know that I was too. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. Students, author of this poem is unknown. Hence, we can't say for sure who wrote this poem. Okay. Now we are going to learn this poem in detail. This poem has 4 stanzas and each stanza have 4 lines. That means in all 16 lines to this poem. Title of this poem is Walk a Little Slower. Walk is a verb, a little is a phrase, and slower is a form of adjective. Walk a little slower. We are going to learn the first stanza. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps and I don't want to fall. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. A very little child is requesting to his father to walk a little slower. That means the child wants to understand the action of his father. Okay, in this poem, walking is metaphor. Walking is metaphor to journey of life. Walking means journey of life. Walk a little slower. The child wants to understand his father's actions better. The child adds that he is following in its father's footsteps. I am following in your footsteps. I am following in your footsteps. Child adds that he is following his father's footsteps. That means it wants to following the same way of the life of his father, and I don't want to fall, and it doesn't want to fall. It doesn't want to fall. In this poem, fall means unsuccess, fail. It doesn't want to failure in his life. Okay, do you understand the first stanza? Walk a little slower, daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps and I don't want to fall. In this poem, child is requesting to his father to walk slower because he is following in its footsteps and he don't want to fall. That means the child wants from his father's action better. He wants his thoughts. He wants to understand his father's thoughts. He wants to understand his father's feelings better, and he does not want to unsuccess in his life. So he is requesting his father, walk a little slower. Now look the second stanza. We are going to learn the second stanza. Sometimes your steps are very fast. Sometimes they are hard to see. So walk a little slower, daddy, for you are leading me. Sometimes your steps are very fast. The little child tells that his father's steps are very fast and sometimes they are hard to see. That means the child at times finds it difficult to understand his father's thought. He finds difficult to understand his father's feeling or actions. So, walk a little slower, daddy, for you are leading me. So, he adds that and he requests again to his father to walk slower because his father is leading him. Leading him means, leading in this poem, leading means guiding him. The father is in the child's role. Father is in his child's role model in his life. So, he asked father to walk a little slower. Okay. Sometimes your steps are very fast means sometimes child can't understand its father's feelings. Child can't understand his father's thoughts or his actions. So, father should communicate to his child about his actions, about his feelings or about his thoughts. Okay, this is the second stanza. Now we are going to learn the third stanza. Someday when I am all grown up, you are what I want to be. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow me. Someday when I am all grown up, the little child adds that when it is grown up means became adult, it wants to be exact like his father. Someday when I am all grown up, you are what I want to be. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow me. In future, when the child have a little child, that will follow in his footsteps of his father. The present child the present child is in the father's role model. and his child, his future child, will follow him. He will also wants to understand his actions better. So, third stanza is, someday when I am all grown up, you are what I want to be, then I will have a little child who will want to follow me. This is the natural process. Childs became adult, adult became an old person. This is the growth. So, he is saying to his father that when he will be adult, then he will have also a child, and his future child also wants to understand his actions better, understand his feelings better, understand his thoughts better. Then I will also lead him, I will also guide him, I will also communicate with him. Okay. Now we are going to learn the last stanza, and I would want to lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, daddy, for I must follow you. The child further adds that it wants to lead its future child just as the way its father leads it now. And I would want to lead just right and know that I was true. So it is important to make sure that it leads its future child in right way, in proper manner. So walk a little slower, daddy, for I must follow you. Hence, the child must now understand its father's action better. So this is the last stanza, and I would want to just lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, daddy, so I must follow you. He wants to lead its future child in right manner, in right direction, proper way, like as just his father leads it now. Hence, the child must now understand its father's action better. So, I must follow you. I must follow you. In short, this poem is about good parenting. Father should communicate to his child. Father should speak with his child. Father need to attention his child's needs, and father must talk about his actions, he must talk about his feelings, he must talk about his thoughts, so that his child can understand it better. His child can understand the better way of living life. So students, this is the poem. Now we are going to learn some difficult words in this poem. Students, now we will learn the glossary or the difficult word. Look the first. In this poem, here walk means to communicate someone's actions, thoughts and feelings to someone. Walk to communicate someone's actions, एखाद्याच्या विचार, भावना किंवा कृती याच्याबद्दल संवाद साधणे. To fall means to fail or unsuccessful in achieving something or in getting something. फेल अपयशी होणे. या ठिकाणी पडणे याचा अर्थ काय? अपयशी होणे. फॉलोइंग इन युअर फूटस्टेप्स मीन्स टू डू सेम थिंग्स ॲज समवन एल्स डू. फॉलोइंग इन युअर फूटस्टेप्स मीन्स टू डू सेम थिंग्स ॲज समवन एल्स डू. Leading means here guiding or showing the right path. एखाद्याला मार्गदर्शन करणे, योग्य रस्ता दाखविणे याचा अर्थ लीडिंग असा या कवितेमध्ये केलेला आहे. ओके स्टुडंट्स, you will be asked appreciation of poem in the exam. There are some of the points to the appreciation. Title of the poem, poet of the poem, rhyme scheme, favorite line of the poem, theme or central idea of the poem, figure of speech used in this poem, special feature of this poem, and why I like this poem. Or there may ask some another issue, how many lines to this poem, how many stanzas in this poem, so and so. So we will learn this poem according to these points. Title of the poem, you well know that walk a little slower is the title of poem. Who is the poet of this poem? Poet is unknown. We do not know the name of the poem. So poet is unknown. You may write unknown. Third point is rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme we will learn it later. Before that, we will learn some another topic points. What is the favorite line of this poem? You may write any line that you like. Theme or central idea of this poem. What is the theme? This poem is about good parenting. Father should communicate to his child. He should communicate with his thoughts, feelings or actions so that child could understand it better. Figure of speech used in this poem, I have told you that walking is the journey of life. This is the metaphor figure. Metaphor or the walk a little slower. This line is repeated here many times. So repetition also a figure of speech used in this poem. What is the special feature of this poem? And the last point is why I like this poem. Why I like this poem. This is the personal response asked to you. Why do you like this poem? You may write that the child in this poem is aware about his need. Child should aware about their needs, aware about their rights. So I like this poem for that. We are going to learn rhyme scheme. In last some years you have learnt rhyming pairs, but now you will have to write rhyme scheme. What is rhyme scheme and how you will have to rhyme scheme? Pay close attention to the poem again. Look the last word of the first line. Walk a little slower, daddy. Daddy is the last word of the first line. And what is the last word of the second line? Said a little child, so small. Small. Small is the last word. Then does daddy rhymes to small? No. So we can write to the first line A, and the last word of the first line doesn't rhyme to the last word of the second line, so we may write to B, to the second line. Okay, we will learn the first stanza. The first stanza, first line, second line. We will see the first stanza. First line, we write to the first line A, to the second line B. Now look the third line. I am following in your footsteps. What is the last word of the third line? Footsteps. Then does footsteps rhyme to daddy or small? No. Footsteps also different word. It doesn't rhyme to the last word of the first line, last word of the second line. So we will write to it C. Now look the fourth line of the first stanza. And I don't want to fall. Fall is the last word of the fourth line. Fall. The last word of the first line is daddy. The last word of the second line is small. Last word of third line is footsteps. And last word of the fourth line is fall. Then small, fall. Fourth line's last word rhymes to the second line's last word. So we can write to the fourth line B. So this is the rhyming scheme. A, B, C, B. This is the rhyming scheme. Okay, do you understand? So A, B, C, B is the rhyming scheme of this poem. Okay. At last, we will learn some grammatical part of this poem. In this poem, some action words are used here, like following. Follow is a verb. Following. Ing suffix is added to the follow verb. Following. So it is action word. Continuous tense. Such type of action words used in continuous tense means present continuous tense or past continuous tense or future continuous tense. These types of action word means a verb plus ing suffix used in continuous or progressive or imperfect tense. Then a little is a phrase. A little is a phrase. A little means few. A little means few. Some. A little milk or a little while ago. a little more time, a little confusion, we may use this phrase in our own sentences. Okay, so friends, this is our poem, Walk a Little Slower. We learn all about this poem. Thank you.